Value of time. Time is the most democratic resource in the world. It does not care about your background, your family name, or your bank account. Whether you are a billionaire running a global empire, a college student chasing your first big dream, or someone trying to find direction in life, the universe gives you the same 24 hours every single day. That's it, no more, no less. But here is the painful truth: while time is equally given, it is never equally used. And that difference determines who rises and who remains the same year after year. Think about it for a moment. You cannot buy more time, no matter how much money you have. You cannot beg for more hours, no matter how desperate you feel. And once a day passes, you cannot get it back. It is gone forever, like water slipping through your fingers. Yet so many people live as if time will wait for them, as if opportunities will knock on their doors endlessly, as if life will somehow pause until they feel ready. The reality is harsh. Life does not wait. Time does not stop. Every second you waste is a second you will never see again. But here is where it becomes interesting. Time itself is not the problem. The problem is how we see it. Many people think of time as this big, endless stream of hours, but in truth, your life is made up of tiny blocks of time that disappear as quickly as they come. Every morning you wake up, you are handed a small bag with 24 golden coins, each coin representing 1 hour. Now, you can spend these coins however you want. Scroll through social media for 2 hours. That's 2 coins gone. Binge watch shows for 4 hours. 4 coins gone. Gossip, procrastination, worrying about things you cannot control. More coins gone. And at the end of the day, whether you use them wisely or not, the bag is empty and there is no refund. Tomorrow, you start with a fresh bag, but the number of bags left in your entire life, that, my friends, is unknown. This is why valuing your time is the first, most critical step towards success. Because if you do not respect your time, nobody else will. Opportunities will pass you by, not because you lack talent or intelligence, but because you kept telling yourself, "I'll do it later," as if later is guaranteed. It is not. People often say, "I don't have enough time," but that is rarely true. The truth is we have enough time. We just don't use it right. We spend our best hours on things that do not matter and leave our dreams starving for attention. The world is full of distractions designed to steal your focus. Endless notifications, meaningless debates, negative people who drag you into their problems. If you don't guard your time fiercely, the world will happily waste it for you. And here is the most powerful part. Once you truly understand the value of your time, your entire perspective shifts. You stop saying yes to things that drain you. You stop spending hours worrying about people who don't care about you. You stop wasting entire evenings on activities that bring you no growth, no income, no peace of mind. Instead, you start asking yourself, is this the best use of my hour? Will this bring me closer to my goals or further away? This is the mindset that separates dreamers from doers. It's not about being busy, it's about being intentional. Every hour becomes a tool, a weapon, a building block for the life you want. When you truly value your time, you realize you cannot afford to live on autopilot anymore. Once you begin to value your time, the next step is to decide how to use it. And this is where priorities come into play. You see, time by itself is neutral. It does nothing for you unless you give it direction. You can fill your day with hundreds of small activities and still achieve nothing meaningful, because being busy is not the same as being productive. Many people confuse motion with progress. They feel proud of being constantly occupied, running from one task to another. Yet when they look back after months or even years, they realize they have been running in circles. Why? Because they never stop to set priorities. Starting with priorities is about understanding what truly matters in your life and giving it your best energy, focus, and attention before everything else competes for it. Too often, people wake up and let the world decide how their day will go. The first thing they do is check their phones. A message comes in, an email arrives, a notification pops up, and suddenly the day is consumed by things that feel urgent, but are not truly important. At the end of the day, they feel drained but unfulfilled because nothing significant was accomplished. This is what happens when you live reactively instead of proactively. Imagine your day as a jar. If you fill it first with small pebbles like distractions, gossip, and meaningless tasks, there will be no room left for the big rocks. Your goals, your growth, your dreams. But if you place the big rocks first, the smaller pebbles can fit around them. Priorities are those big rocks. They are the tasks, projects, and commitments that truly shape your future. Everything else is secondary. But how do you know what your priorities are? The answer begins with clarity about your goals. What do you want in life? What are you building toward? If your dream is to start a business, then learning about entrepreneurship, building skills, and networking with the right people should come before spending hours on entertainment or meaningless conversations. If your goal is to improve your health, then exercise, nutrition, and rest deserve space in your schedule before binge watching late-night shows. Yet so many people do the opposite. They give their best energy to what doesn't matter, then wonder why life feels stuck. There is also something powerful about doing your most important tasks early in the day. In the morning, your mind is fresh, your energy is high, and distractions are fewer. If you tackle your top priorities first, you build momentum and confidence that carry you through the rest of the day. On the other hand, if you keep postponing what matters most, you live with the weight of unfinished goals pressing on your shoulders, draining your mental energy before you even start. Starting with priorities also means learning the art of saying no. Every time you say yes to something meaningless, you are saying no to something that could change your life. People will constantly demand your time, friends, colleagues, social media, even strangers. If you do not guard your priorities fiercely, your day will be filled with everyone else's agenda except your own. And here's the truth: nobody will hand you time for your dreams. You must claim it yourself. When you choose to focus on what truly matters, life begins to feel different. You start each day with purpose instead of confusion. You no longer live in reaction to the world. You lead your life with intention. Priorities give your 24 hours meaning, structure, and power, turning ordinary days into stepping stones toward extraordinary results. Once you learn to value time and set clear priorities, the next challenge is how to structure your day so that every hour serves a purpose. Because here's the truth: even if you know what's important, without the right balance, you'll either burn out chasing everything at once or waste precious hours on the wrong things. Success is not just about hard work, it's about smart work, and smart work begins with dividing your day wisely. Think about it. Your 24 hours are like a pie. If you cut it poorly, some slices will be too big, leaving nothing for the things that truly matter. Others will be too small, leaving you frustrated and unfulfilled. But if you divide it with care, you create space for progress, growth, health, relationships, and even rest, all without feeling like you are constantly drowning in business. One mistake people make is giving all their time to one area of life while starving the others. Someone focuses only on work and ignores their health until stress and exhaustion catch up with them. Another person spends too much time on leisure and entertainment only to wonder why their dreams are taking so long to materialize. Life is not meant to be lived in extremes, it demands balance. And that balance begins when you consciously assign time to the things that build your future instead of leaving it to chance. Start by identifying the major areas of your life: work or studies, personal growth, health, relationships, and rest. Now imagine each day as a container with space for all these things. If you wake up and pour everything into work, you might feel productive in the short term, but eventually your body breaks down, your relationships weaken, and your mind loses its sharpness. On the other hand, if you spend too much time relaxing and socializing, your goals remain dreams because they never get the attention they need. Dividing your day wisely ensures no area of your life grows at the expense of the others. For example, mornings can be dedicated to personal growth, reading, exercising, learning, or setting intentions for the day. These hours have incredible power because your mind is fresh, distractions are fewer, and even 1 hour of focused work before the world wakes up can put you miles ahead of everyone else. Then, the main portion of your day goes to work or studies, the things that demand your professional energy and skills. But here's the key: instead of stretching work endlessly, give it clear boundaries so it doesn't consume the time needed for other priorities. Your health deserves its own space in your schedule too. Too many people say, "I'll exercise if I have time." But time never appears magically, you must create it. Even 30 minutes of movement can transform your energy, focus, and mood for the entire day. And don't forget relationships, the people who love and support you. Success built at the cost of human connection often feels empty. Call a friend, have dinner with family, spend time with those who matter, because life is richer when shared with people who care. Finally, rest is not laziness, it is renewal. A tired mind makes poor decisions, while a well-rested one sees opportunities clearly. Successful people are not those who work without stopping, but those who know when to pause, recharge, and return with twice the energy. When you divide your day with intention, you stop living reactively. Your hours no longer scatter randomly. They work together like pieces of a puzzle, building the picture of the life you want. There is something almost magical about the early hours of the day. The world is quiet, distractions are few, and the noise of everyday life has not yet begun. It is during these precious hours that you have the greatest opportunity to take control of your time, your energy, and your mindset before the demands of the day try to control you. This is why morning discipline is so powerful, because the way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. But here's what happens to most people. They wake up late, rush to get ready, check their phones before even brushing their teeth, scroll through social media, answer messages, read the news filled with negativity, and then run into the day already feeling overwhelmed and behind schedule. The problem isn't just that they woke up late. The problem is that they started their day on someone else's terms. Their time, their focus, and their emotions were hijacked before they even had the chance to set their own direction. Morning discipline changes everything. It gives you back the driver's seat of your life. It allows you to wake up with intention instead of reaction. And when you own your morning, you begin to own your day and eventually your life. Now, let's be clear. Morning discipline is not about copying someone else's routine. It's not about waking up at 4 a.m. because a successful entrepreneur said so, or meditating for 2 hours because it sounds impressive. It's about creating a set of small but powerful habits that prepare you mentally, physically, and emotionally for the day ahead. The goal is to start the day with clarity, energy, and focus, instead of chaos, fatigue, and confusion. For some people, this might mean exercising first thing in the morning to awaken the body and sharpen the mind. When you sweat early in the day, you feel stronger, lighter, and more alert. For others, it might mean journaling or reading, feeding the mind with positive, meaningful ideas before the world floods it with noise. For many, it's as simple as sitting quietly for 5 minutes, breathing deeply, and setting an intention. What do I want to achieve today? Who do I want to be today? But the most important part of morning discipline is that it gives your priorities the best hours of your day. Think about it. If your dreams matter to you, why give them the leftover scraps of your time and energy at night when you are tired, distracted, and mentally drained? When you work on your goals in the morning, even for just 30 focused minutes, you build momentum that carries into the rest of the day. And here's something you might not have thought about. Morning discipline builds self-respect. Every time you wake up and keep a promise to yourself, whether it's exercising, reading, writing, or simply waking up on time, you strengthen your belief in your own ability to follow through. This self-trust becomes the foundation for bigger goals. Because if you cannot keep the small promises, how will you keep the big ones? Over time, this discipline compounds. What starts as a simple routine becomes a powerful ritual. You begin each day feeling grounded instead of scattered, confident instead of uncertain, proactive instead of reactive. Morning discipline doesn't just organize your day, it reshapes your character. It transforms you into someone who leads their life rather than someone who is constantly dragged by circumstances. You can value your time, set your priorities, divide your day wisely, and even build powerful morning habits. But if you keep letting time wasters creep in, your efforts will collapse like a house built on sand. Because the truth is, no matter how carefully you plan your day, there will always be things fighting to steal your time, energy, and attention. And unless you learn to identify and eliminate them, you will keep feeling busy while your dreams starve quietly in the background. Here's the thing about time wasters. Most of them are not obvious. If someone barged into your house and started stealing your money, you would throw them out immediately. But when something steals your time, which is far more valuable than money, you often don't even notice until it's gone. That's why these time thieves are so dangerous. They hide in habits, distractions, and even people who drain your energy little by little, until you are left wondering where the day went. Let's talk about some of the biggest culprits. The first one is mindless scrolling. You pick up your phone to check one message, and before you know it, 45 minutes have vanished watching videos, reading comments, or browsing through other people's lives. The problem isn't social media itself. The problem is letting it control you instead of the other way around. Ask yourself honestly how much of what you consume online actually moves you closer to your goals. If the answer is very little, then you are not just wasting time, you are feeding your mind with noise that weakens your focus and motivation. Another big time waster is meaningless conversations and gossip. How many hours do people lose every week talking about things that have no real impact on their lives? They debate endlessly about celebrities, argue about politics they cannot influence, or complain about problems without seeking solutions. Words have power, and if your conversations constantly revolve around negativity, you are not just wasting time, you are poisoning your mindset. Surround yourself with people who talk about ideas, opportunities, and growth, not those who pull you into drama and distractions. Then there is procrastination, the silent killer of dreams. It whispers, "I'll do it later," and tricks you into believing you have unlimited time. But the tasks you keep postponing build up like heavy stones on your back until they crush your confidence and progress. Procrastination doesn't just waste time. It steals your peace of mind because unfinished work keeps haunting you even when you are trying to relax. And let's not forget multitasking. It may feel like you are being productive, but in reality, jumping between tasks scatters your focus and doubles the time needed to finish anything properly. Deep, focused work beats shallow, distracted work every single time. Eliminating time wasters requires courage because it often means making uncomfortable choices. It means saying no to invitations that add no value to your life. It means turning off notifications, setting boundaries with people who drain your energy, and sometimes walking away from habits that feel good in the moment but cost you dearly in the long run. The truth is, every hour wasted on distractions is an hour stolen from your dreams. If you don't control your environment will control you. If you don't choose your habits will choose your future. And the future built on wasted time is always filled with regret. If there is one thing that separates people who stay stuck from those who keep rising, it is this: the hunger to learn, to grow, to keep improving no matter how much they already know. Life does not stand still. The world changes every single day. New technologies emerge, new opportunities appear, new challenges arise. And if you stop learning, you fall behind, even if you were ahead yesterday. That is why continuous learning and growth are not optional. They are the very heartbeat of success. Think about the most successful people in any field. They are not necessarily the smartest at birth, but they are the ones who never stop expanding their minds. They read, they ask questions, they seek mentors. They observe the world with curiosity instead of arrogance. While others waste hours on distractions, they dedicate time to learning skills that open new doors, solve real problems, and prepare them for bigger responsibilities. Here is the truth: your current knowledge has brought you to where you are today, but it will not be enough to take you where you want to go next. Every dream you have, whether it's starting a business, earning more income, or becoming a better version of yourself, requires skills you may not yet have. The only way to gain them is through learning. But learning is not just about formal education. It's about a mindset. Too many people think education ends when they graduate from school or college. That is a huge mistake. The world is full of people with degrees who stopped growing the moment they got their certificate, while others with no formal qualifications kept learning through books, online courses, experiences, and mentors. And today they are leading industries, building companies, and shaping the future. Continuous growth means setting aside time every day, even if it is just 30 minutes, to feed your mind with something valuable. Read a chapter of a book that challenges your thinking. Listen to a podcast from someone who has achieved what you want to achieve. Take an online course that builds a skill the future will demand. These small investments compound over time. One book a month becomes 12 books a year. 12 books a year can completely transform how you see the world and what you are capable of doing. But growth is not just intellectual, it is also emotional and spiritual. Learning how to manage stress, how to build relationships, how to stay disciplined when things get hard. These are all part of personal growth. Success is not only about what you know, it is also about who you become in the process. Another powerful part of learning is surrounding yourself with people who know more than you. Too many people stay in circles where they are the smartest person in the room. It feels comfortable, but it kills growth because nobody challenges them to rise higher. When you intentionally spend time with people who inspire you, who have walked further than you, who think bigger than you, they force you to stretch your own limits. And remember, growth requires humility. You cannot learn if you think you already know everything. The moment you believe you have nothing new to learn is the moment you start declining. Stay curious, stay teachable. Life rewards those who approach it with the attitude of a student, not the arrogance of a master. Continuous learning is the fuel that keeps dreams alive, the tool that turns potential into reality, and the bridge that connects where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow. At the end of the day, when the noise quiets down and the world begins to slow, there is a powerful habit that separates people who keep moving forward from those who stay stuck: the habit of reflection. Too many people go through life like passengers on a speeding train. Days pass, weeks disappear, years vanish, and they never stop to ask themselves where they are going, whether the direction is right, or whether something needs to change. They wake up, work, talk, eat, scroll through their phones, go to bed, and repeat the same cycle tomorrow without ever pausing to think. And that is why so many lives remain the same for decades. Reflection is what transforms experience into wisdom. It is the act of looking back, not to dwell on the past, but to learn from it, to understand what worked, what didn't, and what needs to be done differently moving forward. Without reflection, you are like a driver speeding down the road without ever checking the map. You might feel like you are moving fast, but you have no idea if you are heading toward your destination or away from it. When you take time each evening to sit quietly with yourself, even for just 10 minutes, you give your life the gift of clarity. You ask simple but powerful questions. How did I spend my time today? Did I honor my priorities, or did I let distractions steal my focus? Did I grow, learn, or move closer to my goals, or did I just stay busy without progress? These questions are like mirrors showing you the truth about your habits, decisions, and actions. And sometimes reflection will reveal uncomfortable truths. You might realize you wasted hours on things that do not matter. You might see patterns of procrastination, fear, or laziness that keep holding you back. This honesty can sting, but it is necessary, because you cannot change what you refuse to face. Reflection shines a light on the areas of your life that need attention, so you can stop repeating the same mistakes day after day. But reflection is not only about mistakes, it is also about celebrating progress. Too often we focus so much on how far we have to go that we forget to appreciate how far we have already come. When you reflect, you notice the small wins, the tasks you completed, the habits you kept, the times you pushed yourself when it would have been easier to quit. These victories build confidence and motivation. They remind you that growth is happening, even if the big results have not yet arrived. Another powerful part of reflection is gratitude. In the rush of daily life, it is easy to overlook the good things. The people who support you, the opportunities you have, the progress you are making. Taking a moment each night to feel grateful keeps your heart grounded. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present, and that simple shift can bring incredible peace and energy for the next day. Reflection also allows you to plan with wisdom instead of guessing blindly. After reviewing your day, you can decide what to improve tomorrow. Maybe you need to wake up earlier, limit social media, spend more time learning, or take better care of your health. Whatever it is, reflection turns vague intentions into clear action steps, and over time, this daily habit compounds. A day of reflection leads to a week of better decisions. A week leads to a month of focused action. A month leads to a year of transformation. Soon you are no longer living life randomly, you are designing it with intention. So as you reach the end of each day, remember this: success is not only built in the hours when you are working, learning, or chasing your dreams. It is also built in the quiet moments when you pause, think, and realign your path. Without reflection, you repeat old habits. With reflection, you grow wiser, stronger, and more focused with every passing day. Because in the end, life will not reward you for how busy you were. It will reward you for how much you grew, how wisely you lived, and how intentionally you used the precious time you were given. And that growth begins the moment you start learning from every single day you live.